Going live again. And y'all know why I'm doing this. I can't, you know, I'm blind like DMC. I need to wear some glasses like DMC. That's a classic Run DMC that people forget about. Because that album there, The King of Rock, that might be their best album, come to think about it. You know what I mean? You're blind. You can't see. You need to wear some glasses like DMC. And DMC had them big, thick gazelles, right? I think they had gazelles on. I can't remember. This is Volothan Modulus Tautology. That's my Dungeons and Dragons name, you know. I also go by Chucky Biblical, you know what I mean? So I just jumped on real quick because I had the time. So I figured I put some time in to get y'all to hit that like button, to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm still trying to get to 100 subscribers, you know. I know the algorithm doesn't like the fact that I say or I pledge allegiance to foundational Black America. Because it's you know, we're the anti-Black racists of society, right? Which is the hypocrisy. Like, how am I going to be anti-Black when I'm telling you I'm the foundation of what a Black American is, or well, at least what my lineage begins, right? Because I'm the third, to be honest. My son, I skipped a generation. I waited until I was 40 to have a child. So he's actually like the fourth and the fifth, to be honest. You know what I mean? Because I like to do 20-year intervals when it comes to understanding the generations. Hence, we're only dealing with 5 generations per 100 years. And therein is where the debate begins and ends as I sit back and watch Democrats and Republicans debate over political ideologies. Main one being identity, right? And that's where it gets very hypocritical, because you need more than two ideas to form a plane. Right? You're dealing with a single line. So we have all the Democrats talking about they centralists, and they pointing at the Republicans, calling them capitalists. The hypocrisy is that they both are central capitalists. You know what I mean? Or capitalists that think that they're the central authority, you know? And therein is where hip hop begins and ends in our independence. See, because back in 1989, when I was old enough, 18 years old, you get old enough to register to vote, you allowed to vote. Instead of registering to be a Democrat or a Republican, I decided to go in to be independent. Yes, I'm a member of the Hip Hop Alliance, which is a union, is a workers' union for the culture. The president is Chuck D. I think the vice president is MC Light is one of them, and Curtis Blow, the legendary Curtis Blow, I think is the other vice president or something. You know, they got titles, and the reason why they do titles is to you know, to establish order. You got to have an order when you're trying to build something like a union. You know, when you're trying to build a community, you need leaders. You know what I mean? So somebody has to step up and be the leader, that final veto. When injustice is all around us, right? Well, that's at least what political ideologies try to, you know, put forward. You know, and that's what it goes all the way back to biblical understanding. That's why Abraham is the father. You know, now it led to Moses, Solomon, and then Jesus. And then we're arguing who's the Lord ever since. Who's the greatest of all time, you know? Whack, yo. It's real whack. Instead of working together in solidarity, unity, and understanding the nature of God or God's nature. And therein is where I'm beginning today. Like I called this episode Triadic Strategy, Truth, Love, and Courage. And I've been real adamant talking about those key virtues, real principles. We'll call them principles, principles, which established 8 virtues for me way back in the days when I was 14 years old playing a game called Ultima 4, ironically, right? And I used to think it was the first virtue, that being humility, but I'm recognizing that's really the 8th virtue. Of course, the 8 turned to its side is infinity, right? And it's being the only virtue that had an anti-virtue, which is pride. That false pride is not good, yo. Humility, having, true humility is good. Having false pride is very bad. And therein becomes one's own interpretation of loving God. So once again, this is the Triadic Strategy, Truth, Love, and Courage. Triadic Strategy, Truth, Love, and Courage. And as I let the beat rock and introduce Lexi real quick. Hey, Lexa, what's the date and time today?
It's Sunday, June 7th, 2026 at 11:25 a.m.
Cool. Lexa, we're doing a podcast again. Can you say hello to the people?
Hey there, podcast listeners. Charles is back with another episode, and I'm thrilled to be part of the show. Hope you're all having an awesome Sunday.
Thank you very much. I'll be back with you, okay?
Sounds good. Catch you later.
Way back in the days when hip hop began. So I'm trying to figure out what, how else I can relate that topic to what's been the topic at hand. It's like, I want to run different. I really do want to run different demos with this. I'm on my MPC sample again, and I'm having fun with it. But this is a very busy week for Fola, so y'all gonna bear with me this week. I gotta go to court on Tuesday. I got an operation on Wednesday and Thursday. Guess who just came into the house, right?
Guess who just got themselves a $75 Nintendo gift card?
Oh, geez. Yes, I'm streaming right now. And you got gift cards, huh? What are you getting? What are you getting with your gift card? Tell the people real quick.
$75 Nintendo gift card, which has Yoshi on it.
Yoshi. So he's about to buy some video games to download and then complain about the system making everybody buy digital media as opposed to physical media, et cetera, et cetera. Teenagers these days, right? I'll get more from him next episode, or later this week. Because that's where I got the idea from the show is Triangle Strategy, which is a square game that I downloaded, and it's like chess. I'm really going to push teaching my son how to play the original classic chess game. Et cetera, et cetera. Because chess is nothing more than a battlefield of the white army versus the black army, right? Now, yeah, we're trained to think bad army versus good army, or evil army versus I guess good army too, right? Bad versus good versus bad, evil versus what? Good. See how the opposite directions can get convoluted, et especially when you say right or wrong, right? Or wrong or right would be the order of a 0-1 binary thought, right? And we've been over such topics before when we talking about off and on and trying to map such ideas. It's just two ideas as binary thoughts, in programming computers. And therein is where we make the mistake going wrong or right, when right, the opposite of right, and when talking about directions, is left. That's the two-card Mata game that they're playing on us, our minds. And then once again have us believing that the centralists and the capitalists are two different directions when they one and the same. Right? That Democrat is Donald Trump is a Democrat, yo. And he's not he doesn't hate black people more than he loves himself. I mean, obviously, right? So what we have to do as foundational Black Americans is continue to build. We have to reorganize our community. Our community is in shambles because we let all these foreigners come in and become the leaders, and they're running it like the socialist, communist countries that they're coming from, treating foundational Black Americans like we're not citizens or we're less than citizens, like completely disrespecting our elders, like Sojourner Truth, like Frederick Douglass, like Carter G. Woodson, right? Booker T. Washington. I'm just keeping it real. The true builders of our HBCU, historically Black communities, colleges and universities, they weren't meant to just be African-American, African studies too. It was supposed to be Black, foundational Black American studies as well. And where our true lineages come from. Because ours go all the way back before year 0, which we do accept as being the year of our Lord and Savior. Have no problem with Jesus, Yeshua, Joseph, being that Christ. But we can't keep just turning our cheek and letting people take advantage of us for their own families and political gain. I'm just keeping it 100 with you. It's time to start smacking a lot of these immigrants back, coming to our country and disrespecting us and our history. And now that gotta stop, yo. Way back in the days when hip-hop began, with Coke, Raku, Herc, and then Band. B-boys went to the latest jams, but when they got shot up, they went home and said, it's gotta be a better way to hear our music every day. People getting blown away, but coming outside anyway. Try to get outside and see the park. Power from the street light made the place dark. Yo, 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 yo. I don't know, but I was talking about the ladies yesterday, and Wendy Williams really pissed me off when she had her show, and it wasn't just her; it was also Star and Buck Wild or whatever their names was. This was like 2000s or so. Once they let gossip become the main focus of our culture, taking over the radio stations. And that's why Nas came out with that hip hop is dead, right? And the first thing he did was like, yo, I'm going down to the radio station. These DJs gotta go, yo. They completely destroyed what the culture truly was. We had to go underground again. So that's why I'm kind of reintroducing, some of the greatest MCs, and still trying to pay homage to the newer ones, like the Kendrick Lamars, like the Lupe Fiascos, like the Mick Jenkins. I love Mick Jenkins' newest album. It gets kind of hard when I mention what's his name? I'm trying to remember his name now because I'm just trying to pop names that I've been talking about some of their new albums. Oh, the Leopard East Face. Who is that? Razkaz, right? But Razkaz, me and Razkaz the same age. Like, a lot of us that's born in 70s, around 70, that mid Generation X, we had to wait for our older MCs to pass the microphone. We had to wait for, Rakim's, Karis ones to pass us the microphone. So, But when they passed us the microphones, a lot of times it was too hot. Like, what am I supposed to say afterwards? Especially like LL, like, dude, pass me the mic, and it's like that thing's too hot. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I was a fiend before I became a teen. I melted microphones instead of cones of ice cream, using orientated. So when hip hop was originated, visit like pieces of puzzle, complicated. I grabbed the mic and tried to say yes, y'all. They tried to take it. It stated I'm too small. Cool, cause I don't get upset. I kick a hole in the speaker, pull the plug, and I jet back to the lab without a mic to grab and contemplate on the rhymes I had. Those are Rakim lyrics, I'm talking about in the 70s when he used to try to get up on the microphone and the old heads is dominating the show, and it's like, nah, kid, get out of here. Like that's what 70s kids did, especially like Black Thought, Tariq, right? And so when we was older in the 90s and I finally, got to meet like Tariq and Spawn Vicious was, you know what I mean? And I used to go to the cribs of the Minds of Soul and we finally getting our chance to create our version of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And we spitting craziness now because we went to college. We college students now. So we was taking the whole nother new levels, and we having a hard time passing it to these kids, Like I'm like I'm hearing my nephew is he's spitting bars like my brother telling Il Product and Jalen. He telling me my nephew Jay, rest in peace to my brother Maurice. His son is spitting bars like who's KMD? MF Doom. Now MF Doom is one of those transformative because MF Doom is classic 80s. Then he redid himself in the 90s, and then he came back into like every time he kept recreating himself until he became the legendary MF Doom, right? So it's like rest in peace to MF Doom, by the way, right? And now I'm thinking about Sean Price. I mean, we lost a lot of MCs over the past. Recent. That COVID really did a damage to, my generation. Like we died. A lot of us died young, man. Like, So, but I'm still here. Thank God, right? And hit that like button, subscribe, and share. Like, what can I have Lexi bring up on history today? I don't know. I don't feel like doing any virtues or principles or, moral or ethics or anything like that for her. And I don't know. I'm just wrapping my head off, you know what I'm saying, and enjoying life. This is Sunday, so we're supposed to celebrate life today. And y'all have a good week, Don't be optimistic, not pessimistic, God is going to see a way for us to get our lives back, We're still fighting to get our lives back, It's So no, I'm not really planning on no real history lesson today. Let me see how much time I put in anyway. You know what I mean? That way I can measure what else I need to do. I mean, I'm even having fun making this episode. Not rapping about much. And looks like I got one viewer out there. Thank you very much. If you got $1, send it to $VOLOTHAMP, just $1, and that'll put you in the running. Once I get over 100 subs, you will be number one in my free giveaways. I'm gonna start doing giveaways. I need more subscribers. You know what I mean? Share this. You know? Where we at? I don't know. Because I want to do so much more with this, my MPC sample. I want to share more video game content. Let's find out. You know, I've been talking about chess, so let's find out the history of chess real quick from Alexa. Actually, how old is chess, the game?
Chess is about 1,500 years old, originating in 6th century India as Chaturanga. Are you curious about how chess evolved into the game we know today?
Yes, because I thought it was the game even Egyptians played BC before Common Era. Alexa, I thought chess traces back all the way to BCE before Common Era.
Oh wow, you're taking us way back. Chess actually dates to around 600 AD in India, so we're not quite in BCE territory there. Want to know about the earliest strategy games that led up to chess?
Yes, Alexa, didn't the Egyptians play a form of chess then?
Actually, the ancient Egyptians played a different game called Sinet, which dates back to around 3100 BCE. It's a board game, but it's not chess. Chess originated much later in India around the 6th century CE. Want to learn more about how Sinet was played and what it had in common with modern games?
Yes, go right ahead.
Sinet was played on a 30-square board with pieces moved based on throws from sticks or bones. It's kind of like a mix of backgammon and spiritual journey.
Wow. Can you elaborate on that? I'm kind of understanding.
All right, let's dive into Sinet. It's played on a 30-square board with 5 pieces per player. You throw 4 sticks to move, with each side showing white or black determining your move. It's like a spiritual journey through the afterlife.
Wow. And so when it got to India, that's when it became a 30, how many, oh my God, 64 board? Not 64. Alexa, when it's 800 AD, it became a 64 checkered board.
Actually, it was chess that evolved to a 64-square board around 600 to 700 AD in India, not Sinet. Sinet remained a 30-square game throughout its history in ancient Egypt.
Okay, explain a little bit more about chess in India then.
Chess has fascinating Indian roots. It started as Chaturanga around 600 AD during the Gupta Empire. The game used an 8x8 board and had pieces representing different army units.
And can you relate some kind of relationship between that and 8x8 computer programming or anything like that for us?
Interesting connection. Chess's 8x8 board actually does relate to computer programming. Modern chess programs use something called bit boards. They map each of the 64 squares to a bit in a 64-bit word. It's like the board got a digital makeover.
Okay, that's interesting. I like the way you stated that.
Thanks. I love connecting ancient history to modern tech. It's wild how a 1,400-year-old game board layout ended up being perfect for computer memory.
Exactly. I'm actually now into understanding the colors, and what is it, 16.1 million different colors on a computer or something like that?
Oh wow, you're diving into color theory. Those 16.7 million colors come from mixing red, green, and blue light at different intensities. Each color can have 256 levels, so 256 times 256 gives us that whopping number.
Wow. Okay. Okay, we're going to dive more into that and how it relates to 8 colors, should I say, down the line, okay?
Yep, there's definitely a cool connection there. The 8-bit color values and 8x8 chessboard both use 8 as a base, but they work differently. Chess uses 8 for spatial layout, while colors use 8 bits to create millions of combinations. Fascinating how math connects ancient games to modern tech.
Exactly. Thank you very much, and you can tell the podcasters have a good day.
Awesome chatting with you about ancient games and modern tech. I hope your podcast goes great.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I never I mean I thought of it that way, and you know I do have some books on the ancient games, and you know I mean I remember some of that. I'm trying to get my thoughts together right now because I'm so caught up in I'm not caught up in the political study. I get what's going on political quote unquote science. I don't like calling it science though. We now call it STEM, STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And that's how the children are being raised or taught today. And that's why I've been developing this epistemology and converting the algebraic symbols into a more understandable, abstract awareness of being sacred, I guess, and the wisdom behind that, because wisdom is in the heart. That's why you shouldn't hate, yo. You know what I mean? You shouldn't judge. Because judging is hating sometimes. Instead, spread love, right? Love God, first of all. And be amazed at how perfect God is. How do you get to know God? Seek wisdom. Respecting the Lord. And, you know what I mean? Ruling over sin, should I say, right? That's all I got today. I had fun making it. I learned a little something myself. Got me ready to write a first thing I might do when this site gets better, I might have to write a paper. Right? Turn it in or sell it on eBay, right? The Hip Hop Atonement of Tautological Epistemology, the acronym for hate, is real. That's the book that I wrote. Coming soon to Amazon. But right now, just hit that like button, subscribe, and share my content. I need to get over 100. And I appreciate y'all so much. Love God, our Father. Appreciate the art of time, that hip hop life. One love. The words love and like both have 4 letters, but they're 2 different things all together. Cause I like many ladies in my days, but just like the breeze, they all blown away. To love someone is an atmosphere that you both still share when one's not there. Right? Money can't buy you love, yo. That's Houdini. We'll be back with more of them. Be back with more of my normal top 5, top 10, top 20. My favorite MCs. And how we walk this path together. The number of degrees in separation, right? There it is. Hit that like button again. Hope you appreciated this. Love God, our Father. The art of time. That hip-hop life. Money is nothing more than an nth dimensional illusion that really doesn't exist. It comes and goes like forest fires, right? You lose the money, you lose nothing. You lose your health. Yes, Photo lost a little something. But I'm not going to lose my character. That has to do with my morality, my empathy, my ethics, my virtues and principles. I'm not going to lose that. I'm not going to lose my character. You lose your character, you lose everything, yo. Harmony and happiness. We are repenting. Seeking atonement. It's the acronym. We are resting. Is peace. I'll be back with more, foundational Black American, more game theory, more, what me and my son is doing to enjoy our lives, yo. We just going back to enjoying our lives. And we'll share more of that. And I really do appreciate you all that hit that like button. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.